Well, welcome everybody to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm JB Owen, your host, and I'm here today to talk about ways to ignite humanity. We all have things going on in our lives, and despite everything that's happening, we still have to be thinking about how we can grow a better humanity for each and every one of us. And ways that we do that is to come together, to understand, to really dive into the knowingness that each and every one of us, as different as we are, we truly are the same at the core. And that is, we want to be seen and heard and feel loved and feel like we're connected. And so we do that through this show to share with you different stories and different Ignite moments that people have been through that have truly changed them and inspired them to take a new trajectory. Now, sharing a little bit about me personally, just recently, I've lost a friend and colleague, someone I've been working with for many years. And like many of you, you probably experienced something similar where you have lost someone that you really care about. And life still has to progress. And as much as we want to remember, and I do remember her deeply, I also want to move forward in making big things happen and never letting her go unremembered or forgotten. And so as I struggle with my words and my emotions to deal with the loss of a friend, I still keep wanting to show up to remind all of you that we have to be caring about one another. We have to be thinking, we have to be dipping into our emotions. We have to bring ourselves forward in a way that we can support and move through our emotions in a way that, well, in all honesty, helps us be the best version of ourselves. Losing someone is always difficult. And at the same time, how can we turn it into a positive in the way that, well, she won't be forgotten? So we decided to build a school in Danya Safar's name, and we want to share her talent and her skills, her creativity, and the beautiful part of her, and at the same time, ignite humanity. And that's what this is all about. We have these ignite moments, these moments that change us, that truly define us and make us think differently. And with the loss of Danya, we've decided that we want to build a school. So if you'd like to be a part of building something, a memorial for somebody super special to the Ignite community, a part of making a huge impact, and at the very beginning of the Ignite Humanity initiative, please go to danyasafarmemorial.com and contribute to her memorial. We're building a school in Pakistan, where she's from, and we want her family to be able to go somewhere and just see the beauty of Danya through the eyes of children who are learning and growing and stepping into what's possible for them. We all have to care about how we can ignite humanity, and this tragedy can be turned into something beautiful by the support of our team and all of you. And I just want to say thank you to the many people who have reached out to me over the weekend and left beautiful messages on Facebook and directly to me. I want to just thank you so much. That is how we ignite humanity. And I only share that with you folks because, well, I don't want this show to just be cookie cutter and plastic. I don't want it just to be like a repetition of the same thing over and over again. I want you to know that, like you, I too am going through struggles and trials and tribulations and things that are challenging me. And I get to be with you, and I get to lean on all of you, and I get to know that together we can make a difference. We can ignite humanity, and we can step into what's possible for each and every one of us. Now, it's beautiful. My guest today on the show is talking about hope and how we can step into our hope and how hope is really empowering. My beautiful guest, Jammie Matheson, is a small town girl that believes big ideas can come from small places. She is a part owner of the FLD Industries, working with her son, helping people become fast, loud, and driven with their vehicles and their lives. And Jammie has developed a curriculum on the dynamic principles of hope, helping others to go from hopeless to hopeful. She has developed a system that helps people learn to trust their inner voice and have confidence in their personal decisions. Her motto is learn to trust your inner voice. And I love to call her a hopeologist. All right, welcome Jammie to the show. Hey Jammie, happy to have you, darling.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I really appreciate how much you care and the messages that you're putting out there for Danya. That is beautiful. She meant so much to everyone, so many people, and I really hope that everyone who watches this can share and contribute.
Thanks for saying that. I so agree. And many of us have lost people in our lives and we're facing challenges and loss. I know COVID also made a lot of people feel like they were losing their lifestyle. They were losing their friendships, their hobbies, their activities, losing the ability to go out and do that they love to do. And so there has been this loss amongst us globally in many ways. Of course, we're coming out of it. I'd love to chat with you because you have a very unique concept. And you and I have talked about this one-on-one personally, the idea of hope. And I used to think that hope was kind of a useless word. I used to think, well, why hope to win the lottery, or hope he's going to call you, or hope that that it'll work out, when hope didn't really feel like something I could bank on. And yet you've really helped me see hope in a different way. Can you share that with our listeners?
Absolutely. That conversation that we had was very meaningful. It really helped solidify in my mind what hope represents to me. So, optimism really is a state of mind. If we have a dream, if we have a wish, how do we get from that point to having it become something solid? And that is hope. Hope is actually an action. This was about 20 years ago. So my story really has gone over a good 20 years. So I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, and every day one of my boys, he would come home from kindergarten and hand me this white rock, and he would find it on the playground. He would look in the driveway, wherever, but every single day as I was going through treatments, he brought me home a white rock and handed it to me and gave me a big hug and said, "I hope you get better, Mama." And that solidified to me that hope is an action. Hope is something we give to each other. If we have lost hope, we can't find it. It has to be a gift that is given. Hope is one thing that even if we don't have it ourselves, we can still give it to someone else.
I love that story about your son. And of course, children are so brilliant and so intuitive and so caring. And I think I could just envision him coming home and giving you this beautiful white rock, with purity and, this sort of feeling of blessed angels, and hoping that you get better. And I really believe that his hope, let's use that word again, actually was such a catalyst. Obviously, you have recovered, you're better. Look how amazing you are now. But do you feel that in that hope, and you said it's action, there's like power in it, there's intensity in it, there's a vibration and a frequency in it?
There absolutely is. And how do we find that vibration? How do we find that frequency if we're hopeless and we want to become hopeful? Usually there is some situation in our life that we're wanting to change, that maybe a decision that we've made that causes us to feel hopeless and we want to change it. And so I have created the dynamic principles of hope that help step through that process. How did we get here? And we have to be honest with ourselves. What part did I play in it? What do I need to change? And where do I need to go from here? And so that really represents the H in hope, the how, and be honest. And then
let me just stop you there, because I want to unpack that a little bit, because you've really taken this philosophy, and as a hopeologist, you've sort of broken it down into pieces. You've taken each letter in hope, and you've actually designed a way that people can look at it from a different perspective. And so the H is really about the how, like, how did I get here, or how did this happen? Am I supposed to look at the how in like the pieces, the tangible that unfolded in the way that has put me where I am right now?
Absolutely. And the part that we played in it ourselves, maybe we were trying to avoid some sort of opposition that made us, or allowed us to make a decision that we really wish we would have chosen something else. We were trying to avoid something. And so what is that thing we were trying to avoid? How did it affect us? Was it fear? Was it fear of another person? Was it a fear of an outcome? Or
I think
it was the simple decision.
Yeah, and sorry to cut you off, but I also think it's great because when you ask how did I get here, or how did this unfold, it has a lot of ownership in it, because sometimes people can take the victim role. This was done to me, this was forced upon me, somebody did this, or like I'm helpless and I just was it all unfolded and I didn't have anything to do with it. And so the how really does ask people to have some ownership around how their circumstances have unfolded. Do you agree?
Absolutely. There's so much victimhood that we play until we understand the lessons that we haven't learned.
Hmm.
So often, we'll try and help people. My husband is so good at, really helping friends and helping people and providing service for people. And this is a terrible thing to say, but we used to, in a previous mindset, say, oh, no good deed goes unpunished, because we know we're going to help someone. We know we're going to put forth this effort, but it isn't going to change their lives. And why won't it change their lives? It's because they haven't learned the lesson. They haven't learned to go from hopeless to hopeful. There really are steps involved. And until we understand those steps, we will continue to be presented with the same situations in our life over and over again, whether it's spiritually, financially, emotionally, or physically.
Yeah,
Until we
well,
take those steps, we aren't going to change.
yeah, well said. And I also like that you said we used to have that mindset, because we all have the ability to change our mindset. It's like a flick of a switch. You can literally today, right now, watching this show, be like, you know what? I think something differently. I think Jamie said something, JB said something. I actually now think about this differently. All right, tell us a little bit about the O.
So O is for the opposition. What thing were we trying to avoid that caused us to make the decision that we did? And then we need to look at the opportunities that will present themselves if we go back and change that choice. What can we do? What steps can we take? And then we need to figure out the opportunity that will be presented to us. Are we prepared to accept that new opportunity? We need to sit with it, spend some time with it, learn to be friends with it, um, think about it, meditate on it. How does it feel? How does it affect the people that I love? And then we need to put the steps in place, figure out how we need to overcome.
It's really good that you say that, because a lot of times people do feel like they have no other opportunity. My son is just 18 and he's like off, and working a new job. And so, of course, he has two part-time jobs and he's trying to choose between the two of them to make one of them a full-time. And he's like, Mom, I feel like I have no decision. I'm in gridlock. And I was like, wow, you actually look outside of that. You could go work on a cruise ship. You could go work in a and do work in Africa and do like volunteer work. You could go work in the army. You could go work at, in a school. You could go up to the Arctic. Like, I just started giving him all these other ideas and opportunities, because he got really, really stuck in just the fact that this was happening to him. So I feel it's so powerful when you say opportunities. We have to be awakened to our opportunities, because really, in truth, they're all over the place. They're everywhere. They're all around us. We just have to like see them, right?
Exactly. We have to get out of our own way. We have to get out of our own headspace.
Okay, let's talk about the P. What's the hope and what's the P in hope?
So we need to prepare. So we've sat down, we figured out what our opposition is. So now we need to take the steps. We need to figure out how I can prepare to overcome this opposition, because it's going to present itself again. We need to have perseverance when those questions come up. Maybe for an example, maybe it's somebody who has struggled with addiction, and they no longer want to make that choice. They no longer want addiction to control their lives. And so they have had the opposition of people offering them things. How do they say no? And so we need to now prepare
Mm-hmm.
ourselves and make those choices now before they even present it, or before we're presented with it, that when someone offers this to me, I'm just going to tell them no. I'm going to walk away. What am I going to do? What are my outs? Just prepare yourself. Make that decision now.
Mm-hmm. And let's just go back to your story a little bit, because we glossed over it a tiny bit at the beginning. You were diagnosed with a very serious form of cancer. You were very, very ill. You had children, a family, a business. Lots of things were going on in your life. And I've read your story and I know a lot. It took so much perseverance and so much of your own your own trust and faith and belief and hope and your wellness and your recovery. And again, I just want to acknowledge you. Can you share a little bit about how perseverance and also a plan, like having a plan, how to persevere through adversity really helps you get to the finish line?
Absolutely. So our plan during cancer was for our children. My husband asked me, how do you want to move forward with this? You know, how do you want? He always wanted my wishes to happen, and he always had to defend them, because I was very sick. I had, after chemo, after radiation, after oral chemo, I had a 12% chance of survival. Um, and my plan was to have our kids come home from school every day, to have them sleep, you know, be with us, be with me, to come home after school, have a snack, sleep in their own bed, to have as normal of a life as possible. Um, we, as so many people do, we really had some financial struggles with this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we almost lost our home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we, you know, because I was working, I had a pretty good job. I was no longer able to work. My husband actually had two jobs. He had his primary job, and then he carried a phone for another company and just did troubleshooting over the phone. So he was getting paid from a second job. And all of that changed. You know, he really had to um, pull it together and take care of us. And
Another piece, pull it together.
yeah, we had to figure out how to pull it together, and it really
Mhm.
became about how we were going to um, show up in our own lives, how and who we were going to let have influence over our children. And for me, the biggest thing that I recognized and understood at that point was um, who, you know, if I was going to have someone else show up in my children's lives, I needed to be protective of that, but I needed to be most protective of how I showed up in their life,
Mm.
how encouraging I was, you know, what goals, what things I wanted to instill upon them, to let them know that I wasn't mad at God for this happening to me. We needed to take this negative thing in our life and turn it into an opportunity. And we actually really did that. We So during this process, like I said, we came very close to losing our home, and so I would spend hours on the phone with the mortgage company trying to figure out what we could do, what the steps were, and I actually learned, you know, about loss mitigation and all sorts of things with mortgages. And so once I got better, I got my mortgage license, I got my insurance license. I took the things that I did not understand, and I educated myself about them so I could make proper steps. And then for us to actually pay off our bills during cancer, I learned how to do bank negotiations. That's how we were able to save our own home. And so then afterwards, I felt that, you know, if we needed these skills, if we needed this to keep our family together, to keep our home intact, other people with illnesses would need the same thing. They need that ability, because when we have lost hope, again, um, we can't find it. When we don't
Mhm.
have skills, when we don't know what we're missing, someone has to give it to us. It has to be a gift. And so, um, so we started doing bank negotiations for people that were in a similar situation. And I would do it for free. I would sit down with them, and we would get all the paperwork together, and we would go in and negotiate with their lenders and try to get them in a hardship, try to get them to rewrite their mortgage, things like that would help them extend um, or give them a grace period. So when they overcame their illness, um, this gave them a reprieve. They were able to get into a better financial situation and keep their homes.
It's so powerful and precious that you, while recovering, was also thinking about others. And I just want to showcase that again. That's how we ignite humanity. We have a situation in our lives, and it's so it can be so difficult and it can be so trialsome. And yet there you are, Jammie, working towards saving your home, saving your family, and then seeing ways that you can help somebody else who'd be going through the same situation. And I just want to applaud you and
Thank you.
show you and say, how brave are you and how inspirational, because many of us have difficulties and we just focus on ourselves. And as you got better and healthier, you were able to focus on others. And obviously, your hope and your knowingness really brought you through that. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, let's hear the E, because I know people are wondering.
So E is explore. We need to explore our options. So we have a list now of different things that we can do. We have prepared. These are the things that I'm going to do. So now we need to explore them. How can we do those things? Is it a simple yes or no? Are they, daily things, daily meditation that we need to go over in our mind, so we are prepared? And as we take those steps every single day, we will continue to evolve. And that evolving will encourage us to understand that we can actually make those changes. We can take those steps because our mindset has changed as well. We have evolved into a different person.
Yeah, one of the principles of Ignite Humanity is foster positive expansion and loving evolution, because we do need to evolve. We all have to evolve. Nothing can stay the same. If we just sit, my uncle actually told me this, if you just sit in your house and do nothing, God will make the roof fall in on you, because something has to evolve. You have to evolve. You have to grow. And evolution is part of who we are. In fact, our brains are coded to evolve, and we want to constantly be in an evolutionary state. And so I love that that is a part of your acronym, is to evolve. And then a little bit of what makes me think about is we have to do exercises, and not just physical exercises, but mental exercises, learning exercises. We have to exercise our brain and our spirit and our body and all of those things to also evolve and grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a chapter in your Ignite Faith book, and I'm so excited for that to come out. And one of the steps, so at the end of the chapters, we have, these 2 or 3 or 5 things that we can state that what are things that we did, our action steps, what are things that we did that can help others. And, when you say exercise, all of us, I was at a point that I couldn't walk, that I couldn't stand, and very, very sick, and had no balance. And so one of the things that I would practice to even exercise is just stand up, and I would try and stand on one foot. I would lift one foot just a few inches off the ground and stand on one foot, and then I would switch legs. And I learned a very important lesson with that, that for us to stand on our own feet, we have to have balance. And for that balance to happen, we just have to take one step at a time. It has to be just little tiny actions. The action, just trying to stand, holding on to something and lifting one foot off the ground at a time, a simple thing like that, that is the most minute thing, but that's where it starts. A small thing can lead to a big step.
It's so true. Little tiny micro movements and micro progression actually gets you there. I mean, there is the story of the rabbit and the hare. I mean, it's kind of interesting. The tortoise and the hare, right? There we go. The tortoise just kept moving along. He just kept making the little incremental improvements. And many times we want to leapfrog from, I want to be here and I want to be there. And we feel like we don't want to take the time and the effort in the middle, but really that is part of the exercise, and that's part of the evolution. Nothing can go from A to Z immediately. There's all those beautiful steps in between. And I love that your HOPE acronym shares and talks about those. Any last words? I know that you have more to share, because hope actually turns into hopeful. Do you want to go through the last ones quickly, or do you want to have our viewers reach out to you and find out more? What would you like?
They can reach out to me and find out more. Absolutely. Let's see. A good email address is jammiehopeful@gmail.com, or Jammie Give Hope at Gmail. or matheeja09@gmail. Either of those work, and we can list those out.
Awesome. And then we have principlesofhope.org also on our screen. Can people connect with you through there?
Yes, absolutely. That's probably the best place to do it.
Well, wonderful. Well, Jammie, I wanted to say thank you because I know being on national television is not always easy. And I know going live is also stressful and nerve-wracking, but you did fantastic. And I want you to know that you bring hope to all of us. You've been through a lot in your life, and you are a great role model for your kids and for us. You're a beautiful part of our community. And I just want to say bravo. You did a great job. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
All right, blessings. Well, if you want to find out more of what Jammie's talking about, because having hope is pretty powerful and going from hope to hopeful really makes a difference in our lives. Hope is not just a passive word. I've learned that through Jammie. You can have beautiful action steps within having hope, and hoping for your life to be different means you can take those incredible movements towards what it is you want. Look out for what Jammie's got to share in her new wonderful Hopeologist program. All right, well, we want to share, if you love this show like we do, you can watch more of it. If you wanted to see all of our episodes, please go to ignitehumanity.life/share and check out what we're up to, see some of our other guests, and be a part of our community, because we're making amazing things happen. We're building schools around the globe, and if you would like to be part of Danya's school, we would love for you to donate. Every single dollar buys a brick, and we need 35,000 bricks to build a school. We want to do something in Danya's honor, so please go to Danya Safar Memorial and .com, and you can share, or if you'd like, you can go to classroomofhope.org. That is our partnership charity, classroomofhope.org, and then just search Danya Safar and you will see the information there. Well, we want to do something special with you, and we want to share that we're doing a magazine. We have been talking about igniting humanity in digital form. So if you'd like to get a copy of our magazine, we are gifting that to you right now. ignitehumanity.life/library. You can go there to see our video mag, and that is an incredible digital magazine that includes a video embedded into the magazine that shows each and every one of the episodes that the articles coincide with, and that's something nobody's doing. So if you want to see our episodes and read an article about how you can ignite humanity, go check it out in our library. And last but not least, if you would like to tell us your story and be on the show and be global, be national, be all over the place, and let people hear what you have to say about igniting humanity, please go to ignitehumanity.life/share and tell us a little bit about you, and we would love to have you on the show. Now, many of our guests over the last couple of weeks have been talking about our Ignite Your Faith book. We are doing a book about faith, and that's what we do. We love to tell Ignite moments and Ignite stories, and our new books are coming out. We have books on courage, joy, success, creativity, purpose, and also about igniting humanity. If you would like to be in one of our books and share your Ignite moment, please go to our website, ignitehumanity.life, and you can check out and definitely apply. Once again, ignitehumanity.life. I would love to hear your story. So go tell us your Ignite moment. All right. Thanks so much for being on the show. Big hugs and kisses to you.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.